they're going to want to hear how thick it is.
He just said that to me. He's referring to his protein shake that he's eating and kind of choking on as we start to record. That's why he sinks in the water, because he does things like eat protein shakes and build insane, massive muscle.
It's true. Well, I mean, I actually was stricken. So like I'm married now, so I don't do anything to keep myself looking good.
Right.
Yeah, and it's been a while. So I was actually going through old pictures from Letterkenny days, and I was like searching up, on your phone, you can look up like Sudbury 2019, whatever, to see photos. So I did that, and I guess one of the years I was ripped, and I was taking pictures of my abs, and I don't remember having abs, but I'd shaved just my lower half of my torso and left the chest hair. It looks so fucking weird.
Just to show off your six-pack?
Yeah, just to see if I had one even. And I have like, it's not like, people who actually don't drink water and are actually jacked people have like crazy abs. I just like could see them. And I was like, oh my God.
Don't they say that abs are made in the kitchen?
I think that's the truth. And I did not do anything in the kitchen. So I must have really been working out.
You were really hungry and doing some crunches.
Yeah, no, I was the kind of guy who I didn't do any of that, eat properly thing. Like my main diet, I would say, is ramen and burgers to this day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. I'm just a very fortunate person as far as like my metabolism goes, but I think my lungs and stuff are probably black, if that helps out there. I was going to
say, the organs are rotting, but hey, you look great.
I look great. I remember in university, I was so into working out at one point, and this like super jacked dude, his name is Reese. I was like, Reese, how are you so big? How are your arms so big? And he shows me this bag in his locker of a thing called mutant mass. And it's got like a radioactive symbol on it and stuff. And it's like 9,000 calories a glass. I ate it. And every day I was in agony. Like all day my stomach hurt so much. And it was the worst feeling physically I'd ever been in. But I gained a lot of weight really quickly. And that's not true. I gained maybe 5 pounds in like 6 months. But for me, that's a lot.
Yeah. Have you, so you've just always been a bit on the lean side?
I have looked exactly like this with exactly this much hair on my body since grade 4.
Okay, I don't know why this crossed my mind. I guess I was just thinking about your body.
You were thinking about my body hair. Go on.
But I was thinking about your body hair. Have you ever, I think, you know what it was? I was watching an episode of Sex and the City, and Charlotte starts dating this guy, Harry. Yeah. And she doesn't want to like go to the beach with him unless he waxes his back. And so my question for you, Evan, for those who don't know, Evan, you do have a fair amount of a hairy back.
I don't have a hairy back. Let's be clear. My back has like a very small, I have like almost no hair on my back, to be honest. I have shoulder hair though.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
And I have like the top of the nape hair. It looks like a tiny squirrel is latched onto the back of my neck, but I don't have like the back part. Like my dad has that. It doesn't go
all the way down.
No. My dad has a full sweater when he takes his shirt off. I don't have that yet. I mean, I'm only 35. He's 75. So maybe by 75, I'll have a big sweater.
I'm sure that if you were to have a full back, it would have been in by now.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's just like a hair pattern.
Yeah. So what was your question about my back hair specifically?
My question about your back hair is, have you ever like waxed it? Do you shave it, or do you just like let it, does it bother you? Like, is it a thing at all? I don't know how really men feel about body hair.
I mean, I'm mostly I have a couple answers here. I'm mostly into the experimental stuff about it. Like, I think it's interesting. I actually like my chest hair quite a bit, but sometimes it can get a bit long, and maybe I'll trim parts of it. But at this point in my life, my chest hair is fine. It's my shoulders. Sometimes I'll take down a little bit, especially if it's, swimsuit season. And then during Letterkenny, I remember Jacob Tierney made fun of me one time because I guess I had shaved my shoulders between seasons, and like my shoulders are exposed the whole show. And he's like, yeah, well, you just shaved your shoulders one season without asking anyone. It's like his body hair to shave. Unbelievable continuity, like between seasons. And then I reached out to actually Sarah Gadden. I was like, where's a laser person in Toronto? Who's a good person? Because she just knows everything. Like, she's great for the Rex, skincare, whatever. Yeah. And she immediately sent me all this information about a laser place in Yorkville. And I was like, okay. So I considered it for a while. But Alana's just so chill about my body hair that I'm back to, again, this has to be my thing.
Oh,
She doesn't give a shit. My wife doesn't care about how I look. What do you think about body hair, Michelle? Tell us.
I have dated people that have fully shaved their chests.
That's not surprising at all.
And I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that. I think it's like especially when I look back, I never thought about it because I don't judge somebody on their choices. What they want to do with their body is fine. I don't really care. But looking back, if I have a preference, I prefer a more natural look.
Yeah, but I picture you with men who are naturally quite svelte, though. Am I wrong? They're like quite smooth. That's just my picture. That's what I'm imagining here is a lot of men who are just like, not like, I've never seen you with like a really hairy dude. I've never even seen you with a guy with a beard.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I don't know. I don't discriminate is what I'm saying. And I don't have like a weird type in that way. I'm not like anti or for body hair.
Oh, you don't have a type like at all? Like that's not your thing?
No.
Interesting. I don't either. I was talking about this with Alana the other day. I don't have a type either. And we love this Korean dating show called Singles Inferno. It's unbelievable.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And every time any of the singles meet each other, their first question is, what's your ideal type? Every time. And the answer is always like a cat-faced person. I'm like, a cat-faced person? Like you're limiting yourself that much to people who look kind of like cats?
That's everybody's type.
Are you into cat-faced people?
Yeah. I don't know. The type thing, I think, like this is going to sound like, oh, okay. But I like people that are like nice and funny. I think I like musicians.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You're like an artist.
I do like an artist, but I don't want to date an actor.
Oh, ew. Who wants to date an actor? I'm so genuinely surprised that I'm married to an actor. But she's like the least actor.
Well, you guys both. It's rare to find somebody who's not an actor, especially men.
Yeah, quick PSA for actors out there, male actors. Stop wearing leather jackets.
Oh, great call.
Stop it.
Just stop.
Stop it. Quit it. Just stop.
Especially like a biker fit.
Yeah. A biker jacket. You could wear a long leather trench coat. Sure, go Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You're not pulling off biker jacket because it's like the most actor. If I was dressing an actor as a joke for a show, I'd put him in a biker jacket and jeans and like make his hair really nice. And I'd make him so kind and happy. Ugh.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I know that you're 5'6", but I feel like they're all 5'6".
They're all 5'6". Why do you think I became an actor? I legitimately heard Tom Cruise was 5'6", and I was like, oh, you can do that and be 5'6"? It's better if you're 5'6"? Boom. There I go. That's my job.
Yeah. And apparently you look better on camera if you're shorter and you have a bigger head.
Yeah, I have a huge head and I'm tiny. There you go.
There you go. It was
all forehead, but you know what? It's still really big. I've still got a lot. Still got a lot of head. That's honestly not even a joke, really, the whole 5'6" me wanting to be an actor thing. I did hear that one time in high school and I was like, huh. Yeah,
it's a real thing. I've never really met an actor who is like super well, except
Alex McCooey, who shows up in season 2, episode 1 of Letterkenny for the first time.
I know.
Wow.
I love him so much. And he really couldn't be taller.
He could not be taller. Oh my God, I love that guy. Yeah. Sometimes I bump into him in Toronto and it's comedy. Like just bumping into him, like, hey, Alex.
I know.
Gives me a hug. He's got his baby on a Bjorn and his baby is a foot taller than me because it's way up there.
And also a tall baby because I think Alex's wife is also really tall.
I'm sure that tall people find each other for a reason.
As they should, yeah. Just to be clear, because I just don't want to sound like weird. I'm not like, I was looking for musicians in this weird way. I don't know.
That's like, what everyone was thinking. They're all like, oh, she just wants to be with Eminem.
No.
She's looking for the next best thing.
No, I didn't.
Justin Timberlake.
Connor was not, I wasn't like, oh, he checks all the boxes. Oh, he is a musician. He's a producer.
And he's naked chested, no hair on his body.
But I think it's more like I like to be with somebody who's creative, but I don't want them to be in the same line of work with me necessarily. So
that's fair.
It works well because we're both creatively inclined, but we have different industries and we can like learn things from each other. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yes. And you also have like similar work patterns. Like you have weird time off and you can go do stuff together. I totally get it. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be with somebody who has a 9 to 5 when I'm an actor. Because it's like, I would just feel like a bag of shit. Like they come home every day and I'd be like, sorry.
I know. I'm still in this little nest I've created for myself on the couch with my laptop.
But I'm working because I'm watching television and that's my job.
Yeah, I'm writing fiction. I'm writing fake scenarios. Are you impressed?
Yeah. Do you like that? I'm going to go to the coffee shop because I'm just like so overwhelmed here. I need a change of scenery.
Do you like that?
Do you like that?
I mean, I think having one person in the home with some structure is probably not the worst thing in the world, but it's just not
like financially, you mean?
Well, and I think to artists, there can be a lot of neuroses potentially.
No. No, I think it's probably fine.
It's probably fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably going to be okay. Yeah. No, but how did we get here?
We got here because you only date actors.
You're right. They're my kryptonite.
Your kryptonite. You love a hot actor. How many actors have asked you out, would you say, in your life? Including Instagram DMs?
Like none.
What?
Yeah. I don't think any.
I feel like a bunch of male actors have asked me out through DMs. I can't believe no one's asking you out. What?
I really can't recall a single one.
Wild.
Asking me out. I feel like, I don't know, people are annoying and then they want to like strike up conversation for a long time over Instagram, I think. But no one's just like, hey, I'd love to take you out sometime. Like that's not a way that guys communicate in my experience. That's
exactly how Alana and I went on our first date. Hey, do you want to go get a drink? Boom, married.
Well, and men listen and take note.
Yeah, lesson learned. Take it off the internet right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also just, I mean, maybe this is like playing into gender stuff a little bit too much, but women do like to be asked out and like a little bit of a direct approach is appreciated. I went out the other night to this like dance party. This mutual friend was DJing and we went with a group of friends.
So many musicians there. You were just like salivating.
I was salivating.
It was gross.
I had to be taken home. So I was watching because the crowd was pretty mixed with people like 20s to 30s. It was like, but I was kind of watching the younger people and I was like, this is all feeling very asexual to me. And I'm wondering, because when we were 22 and we were out, it felt very sexually charged always. And like people are talking and mingling and drinking in excess. And I'm glad that is chilled out for the younger generation. But I'm like, are guys asking girls out or like approaching girls anymore in this age where everything's online and people are maybe less social in person and more like comfortable doing that online? I just like, I was picking up an asexual vibe that I was surprised to see.
This is a very interesting question. You know what, in part it might be because you're like not into that crowd. So like you're not putting it out there. So no one's putting it on you kind of thing. And so you're maybe not seeing it in the same light. And it's kind of like a protected space for you. Like you're having fun with your friends and you're like mature enough to be like, this is't weird.
No, I'm not saying no, nobody approached me. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I was like, no. I was watching
like a hawk, like a chaperone.
Yeah, because I'm not drinking, dry January and all of this. And so I was just sort of like sleepy and watching and like just in observation mode. And yeah, I don't know. I just picked up on that a little.
That's fair. I went to an emo night in San Diego back in September and everyone was drinking a lot. But I also didn't see any of the usual, like, nobody was making out randomly on the dance floor. I feel like everyone used to make out on the dance floor all the time. And you'd be like, oh, get a room. Like, it would be a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I made out with people on the, like, I'm not going to say I didn't, I'll be honest.
Of course you did, you nasty.
I was nasty. No, but like, that's part of the culture of going to the club, right? Back in the day.
You have never sounded older.
Because I said club?
Yeah.
Fuck! I take it back. Can we take that out, Connor? Please take that out. I'm so embarrassed. No, I don't want it.
In the club.
I also like when women asked me out on Instagram DMs. Oh, this sucks. I quit this podcast, man.
Fuck this podcast.
Fuck this podcast.
But I mean, so for anyone listening, don't be like, too much about it. But I think people need to be asking each other out.
Make it clear you want to go on a date with someone. I feel like this like
don't waste everybody's time.
Friendship boil that happens is like, it's not the move. Just be like, hey, do you want to grab a drink sometime? And then see if I don't want to sound old, but do the vibe check. But be like, you put it out there a little bit. Have a little flirtation. Have some jokes. Have a little kiss maybe. If you have a kiss on like the first date and it goes well, it's a nice kiss, like kind of tells you something.
Oh yeah,
like
for
that's
sure.
that's a thing for a reason.
You can see if you have, like, I know immediately if I have chemistry with somebody. And if
From smell.
From their pheromones. I smell the top of their head, which is the most
that's exactly. They smell you smell their neck and they smell the top of your head.
Yeah.
And you go, yes.
Or no.
No, that should be our dating show we host is people hug each other and just inhale deeply the pheromones.
That's not a bad idea. Smell will tell you a lot. And apparently it's, if somebody really smells good to you, it's because there's a lot of genetic differences. And so you'd have healthy children.
Interesting. That's why your like siblings are so stinky.
Right. Literally.
Like you're so stinky.
Literally,
Get out
my
of
brother
here.
couldn't be stinkier.
He's the stinkiest boy. And to some person out there, your brother's like the nicest smelling guy in the world.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I was me saying, and it's because the pheromones, blah, blah, blah. It's like another thinking about the last episode when I explained earthquakes. I'm like, I need to stop pretending I know anything about science.
You do. You know everything. I loved learning about earthquakes from you, and I'd love to learn more about pheromones if you have any other information. Speaking
on these things with total confidence and just not, I haven't Googled. I'm not going to cross-reference anything. There's going to be no data involved. It's just, I'm going from straight instincts.
What do you think a podcast is for?
Yeah, that's so true.
You're nailing it. You're 10 out of 10. That's why everyone's like, Michelle, you're so good at this because you're so confident and so wrong.
It's so deeply wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll keep this in, but I had a little nap and I woke up. You know, when you wake up and you're like, and you feel like
terrified.
Sick.
I had a nap as well just before the podcast and I freaked out as well. Yeah.
Like just before? Because I woke up at 5:10 and we were recording at 5:30.
Like an hour before the hour, I had a nap and I woke up like dry and afraid.
Yes.
And then I went for a little rock climb to get my blood pumping because I have a rock climbing gym just around the corner. And so I went climbing. That's
smart. Yeah. Connor was like, you need to go outside and take some deep breaths and stretch a little bit. Cause I was like, So I woke up and I did the worst thing you can do, which is check Instagram
Stare
immediately.
At your phone. Yeah.
And then I opened my DM requests, which I rarely do. And I don't know why I thought this was a good idea.
It's just like, hey girl, saw you at Indie Sleaze, wondering if you wanted to grab a drink.
That mustache tattoo is sick. No, it was this, I'm going to say it, old man sending me like a shitty DM being like, because I posted the clip of the spare parts clip that you had posted. And he's like, I hope you're able to do something else so you don't have to just keep talking about Letterkenny for the rest of your life.
Oh man, what a dick.
Okay. Letterkenny ended 1 year ago.
I am having a nice time with my friends.
Literally. And I'm also like, we got irons in the fire, you and I.
We also barely talk about Letterkenny. You know how mad people are that only cover Letterkenny for 5 minutes of this podcast?
Yeah. The clip is also us talking about Evan's baby list.
Yeah, Jesus.
With our friends. Like we're having a blast. I'm wearing a Christmas pajama top. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, would you tell someone else who worked with their friends at a car insurance company, all they talk about is car insurance when they're hanging out with their friends from work, even though they're talking about their baby name list?
I know you shouldn't let people get to you like that because that's especially some, doubling down here, old freak who's like just trying to be an asshole. Get away from me.
That is a generation's type of flirting too, which is so unfortunate. It's like putting people down. Yeah, the game theory.
It's so
I remember that fucking book, but that book is the beginning of everything wrong with like men culture now, like online men culture. This like meme culture thing. It's so gross.
What's the game? I don't know what that book is.
You remember the game? Mm-hmm. The game was a book that was released when we were in middle school / high school. And it was written by this guy named, I believe, Mysterio or Mystery. His name was Mystery. And he was a pickup artist. And so all of that's where negging came from. Like he coined that term and made it popular and told everyone about it. And he gave tons of examples. And there was always this like thing about, it was a whole culture spawned from that book. And my friends owned the books. And, you know, I wasn't part of it. I was like, I don't need a stupid book to tell me how to talk to the ladies. I'm in grade 7.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm doing. And I did better than them, actually, because of that.
Being mean to girls doesn't work. It actually is gross and makes you like repelled.
You'll never find like anything you're looking for being a mean person. Being unkind to people will never bring the things into your life that you want.
Well, now I feel bad because I did call him an old freak.
And Michelle, being the jerk that she is, no, but you have to be able to also stand up for yourself and defend yourself. That's not being mean. That's just being...
Yeah, I didn't say it to him. I'm saying it kind of to him
publicly
now.
So that he hears it in the privacy of his own home.
And it feels really bad.
He will feel bad. And you know what? Hopefully, this is a big thing that I've learned about being on the internet a lot. And I am on the internet maybe more than anyone in the world, publicly. Like, I'm just so in there. People can have differences of opinions. People can be jerks to me, and I can always bring them back around. We can always have a nice time at the end of the day. Someone will come into my Twitch chat and be like, okay, I was on stream the other day, and someone said, who is this foreskin looking motherfucker, and why is he on my front page, right? Because I was on like the front page of Twitch for a second. And I was like, all right, Brad, let's talk about this for a second. I'm sure that you're a nice guy some of the time, and that whatever's going on with you right now, like you're having a rough go, we can talk about this for a little bit. We can find out why that was your first instinct. Like, what do we want? And we got into it, and he was like, yeah, I have a kid. I'd feel really bad if he said that to somebody on the internet. You're right. I feel bad. And it was like this back and forth. I was like, well, you could chill here. Let's hang out. Let's have a beer. And I know that's not the approach you can take with everyone. I understand that. Some people just want to see the world burn. But I always feel amazing being able to bring somebody like that back on my side and maybe changing how they do things in the world. Maybe he won't call anyone else a foreskin.
We hope not.
Maybe he won't.
Yeah.
We don't know though.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, kill him with kindness. It's classic for a reason. Yeah. Totally. Well, good for you.
This was a story about how I'm good and you're bad.
Yeah.
Michelle.
I just like didn't respond, obviously. But yeah.
I'm actually surprised because you do respond sometimes. Like
sometimes
I do. I'll see you in the comment section. And you'll feel like you're just going for the throat right away, which is fair. Because I mean, you know,
I don't like when people say things that are like sexually gross. It does something in my brain where I switch.
Yeah. I couldn't even, I can't imagine for you.
And I will say the things that I really find annoying when it comes, for the most part, Letterkenny fans have only been lovely. But the thing that I have a hard time with sometimes is Letterkenny fans who are men who start saying really inappropriate things about the women on Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Comparing us with each other, saying something really sexually explicit to anyone listening. I'm sure our listeners would never do something like that. But if one of you has commented on like Mel's Instagram where she's like posting something of herself and you decide to do something explicit and weird, like, look in the mirror. I find it so weird. And so when somebody does something like that, I will usually say something.
Absolutely.
I just can't not. And then I block them.
Yeah. Blocking is a very powerful tool. I did notice that the Letterkenny Instagram and TikTok today just posted clips of Camila doing like costumes, and it just said, ooh, Bonnie McMurray. And I was like, I'm not going to read the comments here.
I know.
I just can't even stomach it. Like I can't imagine what these comments have. So I couldn't even do it. But then I was also like, fuck, we need to have Camila on right away.
I know we do.
Set the record straight. Let's hear what you have to say.
Speaking of Letterkenny, should we get into season 2, episode 1?
Please. Wow.
Loved this episode.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, they got into it right away with the alphabet aerobics. They were so good.
Yeah.
Kiso is a fan of old hip hop, so there is definitely that element of the like artificial amateurs aren't at all amazing analytically. I assault anime things like that whole thing. And it's like in the alphabet aerobics, I always found that it didn't really make sense. There was a lot of parts in the alphabet aerobics that are like, this isn't really a story. And not in the same way that this cold open was. This cold open is like funny and concise and wraps up the first season and then introduces the second season, and then also the relationship between Wayne and Derry, like the zebras zip it at the end. I was like, this is genius. This might be the best thing in the show.
I know, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what people try and copy when they don't try. They do like, you know, an homage to it when they're doing their own Letterkenny fan fiction, or they write a comment on your post. Like I love those comments when somebody does their own version of it and they're like doing the,
it's really, it's so impressive, and it's a great way to to like kick off the second season, obviously. When did you watch this, first of all? Did you watch it today?
No, I watched it yesterday because we were supposed to record yesterday, and then there was a chainsaw outside of your window, so we couldn't record yesterday, which is why we need to get into a studio tomorrow. And we will. But I do have notes, so if you want to know about anything, I've got all the notes written down for the episode.
Yeah. I mean, one of my like favorite lines in the alphabet cold open was... when he says "bopped your bean" as like, getting punched in the head is a great thing that I think we need to bring back calling your head a bean in the like my bean hurts. You hit me right in the bean. I think that's very fun.
But not for actors. Actors have giant heads. They can't have beans.
I have a small head.
You have a tiny little bean. You got a little bean.
I do have a bean head. So for me, it works. Yeah. The cold open is so strong, so funny.
You have a proportionate head. I shouldn't say you have a tiny little head.
I do have
a human-sized normal head. Us actors have huge heads, though.
Yeah, not me. Okay, yeah,
great, and we're done with the show. That's so wonderful. What a wonderful episode! Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Now on to Spare Hearts.
Can I just say it? I'm really tired today, but that's okay.
Hey,
like sometimes you're just gonna be where you are, and
your
brain.
Baby bear.
Yeah, your brain.
This is the version of Michelle they need.
Right.
This is you. You're not like all bubble gum and pancakes all the time. Sometimes you're like, sleepy. A robe and like a hot tea.
Yeah. And I did say to you, like, I'm sorry, Evan, but you might have to carry this episode a little bit because I am. But
hey,
we're meeting each other where we're at.
Yeah, and I'm ready to go. You want to hear some stuff about the episode?
Yeah,
just off the dome.
I also made some notes.
I bet you did.
I'm excited.
I bet you did. The camera movement was very different in this episode. It was doing like a slow. It was like the first time we'd seen these dolly shots. Like I guess we got like $6 more for this season, so things were happening differently. And I was like, whoa!
There's
some camera movement.
It does make it a lot more dynamic.
Mm-hmm. The colors are brighter. Like I think there's even like money for editing this time around.
Which is so fun.
I don't think we did ADR the first season, but in the second season we did maybe.
Yeah. That rings a bell. Also, I like that we just start off so strong with Katie and Stuart are together.
Oh my God.
And that reveal is perfect.
Unbelievably funny. I have so many questions about just the way that he interacts with you, like him grabbing for your butt. Is that even in the script? Like, did he just do that?
He probably just did it.
Oh, and how was that?
It's likely. And then I instinctually slapped him as hard as I could.
Good. It's so funny. And the way he goes to grab it is like flat palm. It's just like such a weird, he's such a gnarly character.
Yeah. Well, we also assume that he probably has never touched a woman before this, which is why it's such a weird hand placement.
Oh man, I don't know. He has there's a unique quality to Stuart throughout the seasons though, where he's having like threesomes and he's like a ladies' man. Like he's got a huge dick canonically, which is always so funny.
I wonder if Tyler called Jared and was like, man, if I'm going to play this role, you've got to hook me up a little bit.
No, he did not. Because I remember him telling Jared, he was like, hey, thanks, man, for like I can't remember if he said setting the bar too high or something.
Oh yeah.
He was joking about, he's like, great, now everyone thinks that I have a giant penis.
Speaking of inappropriate comments, I do see that often on his Instagram, but
yeah, but it's different for him, I guess, because he's like awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's so few and far between that he enjoys it. Keep at it, everyone.
Sexualizing him with it, they're almost just like celebrating him with it, which is a different thing. I think there's no ownership over Stuart's massive horn. It's not like it's not like that's my favorite massive dick in the show.
Right. No.
It's way better than Wayne's huge penis.
A standout line for me is when the Hicks are kind of berating Stuart and Wayne goes, "Starlight, star bright, why the fuck do you got earrings on?"
The chirps are great. The chirps are great. And they do them in a way where it's like Daryl checks in on Wayne to see if they're about to start chirping him too. Like he does this cute little like check, like, and they get, because it's a little an ode to the first episode.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing with the hockey players. When the hockey players stop in, they do the same check.
I didn't realize that. Did Katie cheat on hockey? I don't think so.
I think she just broke up with them, but it sounds like your buddy cheated on you. Like, I think they're just being dicks.
Because I was like,
they're saying the thing they said first season in their voice.
Okay.
Heard your sweetie cheated on you, buddy.
Yeah, because it kind of scared me for a second.
Yeah, no, I don't think, because you know what? Katie would never cheat. She'd never step out on anyone because that's her whole thing.
That's her whole thing.
Hard lines. And the meta for this, like, I love how just before this happened, like while they're chatting, the Hicks set up what the show's going to be like for the next 6 episodes.
Very clearly, extremely
Wayne's
clearly.
Looking for love.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I think it's such a funny, easy, like, you don't have to worry too much about what this show is going to be this time around.
Yeah, I mean, Letterkenny they were never going to do a show about heavy concepts, which I think is fun. It's always kind of like somebody's looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Kind of that's always what's going on. Somebody's like looking for a new partner.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
That's kind of it. And
that's life,
until
though,
we get to, I guess that is life.
It's just life, so.
Yeah, it's just life. Especially in your 20s.
Oh my God.
Which I guess we're all supposed to be.
Yeah, are we supposed to be 20s in this? I don't know. No parents, no children. Everyone's 20.
Everyone's
it's
20.
A cartoon. Mm-hmm. It's a cartoon.
Did you remember in your breakdown, like what the age was on your breakdown for Roald?
I didn't have a breakdown for Roald. There was no breakdown for Roald.
Of course.
Didn't exist.
So then Stuart, I guess.
Stuart. I mean, I could just Google. I could go into my emails.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
I have it right here.
Because Katie was supposed to be 20. 20?
Exactly. She
20.
She was not 20. Come on now. She's way too mature for 20.
I don't know.
She's like running a farm.
I mean, is she? I don't really see her lifting a finger.
I think so. I think that's their job. I don't know.
That was the breakdown. And so I think she was like 20, 21, and then Wayne was supposed to be like 25.
Jesus, that does not sound right to me. That's crazy. I think, oh man, maybe everyone's in their 30s. Hold on, let me just check. Okay, wow. I have over 600, over 800 emails dedicated to Letterkenny in my emails. Over 900 emails. Oh, okay, here we go. 878 emails about Letterkenny. Here it is. The very first one.
Oh.
Wow, look at this. This is so weird. I got this audition March 11th, 2015. That can't be right. I always thought it was 2014. Interesting. Let's see. This is a very exciting thing that you guys are waiting for here.
I mean, I know for a fact it was 21.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that Stuart was the same age. They're supposed to be around the same age.
Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, this is so interesting. What? I'm looking at these emails and it's like, oh, so just so you know, it was down to you and another guy for Letterkenny, and they hired another guy. It's like,
who's the other guy?
Who's the other guy? It's probably DeJordy.
Right.
Maybe they were considering me for that. I don't even remember any of this. This is so weird to even just go through these emails and see this.
Your whole memory of how you got Letterkenny now shifted?
Maybe
you were never supposed to be Stuart. You were supposed to be Devin. And then they're like, maybe we should add.
But all the auditions are for Stuart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
If it was between me and Tyler for Stuart, that would have been really funny. This is interesting. There's just like a lot of information here, and it's all like season 1, episode 1. This is just fucking weird. I can't look at this too much.
Yeah, put it away.
This is tripping me out way more than I thought it would.
Yeah. Well, we were all supposed to be in our 20s, and then we never really were supposed to age because there was no like timestamps.
We weren't supposed to go for 13 seasons, I don't think.
Yeah, we just kind of were frozen like a cartoon. It was yeah.
And then once we all started like balding and graying, they were like, we got to end the show right now.
Speak for yourself.
I know, you're the exact spitting image of your day one.
No.
Except for instead of pin straight hair, you have beautiful beach curls now.
I got a wave. Well, the hair is still straight in this episode, but I'm hoping for a bit of a wave as we move forward. Okay, so after that kind of like the boys, or sorry, Stuart comes to pick up Katie. We realize that they're together, which is strange to see. And then Hockey comes and they immediately get chirped. We realize that Katie has left them for Stuart, and then they don't even get out of the car because they're so defeated. And then they just leave. I love it. Also, I like that Stuart comes up in his car with a very Stuart sounding song, and then Hockey comes up. So it's like, again, with like just how they used music in the show.
The music's great. I mean, I am kind of curious for the listeners out there. Is there anyone who thought that Stuart and Katie should have been endgame? Because I think they could have been Endgame the way they set this up in the first season. Like, he could have really gotten his shit together, but he just gets weirder. So
yeah, it gets too weird, I think.
And then he certainly gets it. Yeah, we'll not even get into it. He falls in love with other people, and he gets even more bizarre. And then we get brought to the Ag Hall, which is the plot of the episode.
Yes.
Is McMurray at the Ag Hall being the president, being unbelievably with the introduction of Mrs. McMurray at his side,
and she's so funny, Melanie Scarfano. And weirdly, we can understand what both of them are saying in this episode, which doesn't last very long. I feel like their alcoholism hasn't taken a hold fully yet, and they're still somewhat coherent. They obviously take this job very seriously, and they like the power that they hold in the space. Yeah, but they're slow. And it's pissing everyone off. And then this is also where we meet Jim Dickens, played by Alex McCooey.
That auctioneer voice is something else.
I remember like one of the first times I met him. Okay, so we had trailers that were like decently sized, whatever. And then for kind of more like day players, guest star roles, things like that. Again, we didn't have a massive budget. So we had these trailers that were like sort of 3 rooms in a trailer. So just kind of a small little like holding area where you could change and chill out.
It was like a cot, and
that's to make it not sound terrible.
No, it was a cot.
But it was a cot.
One cot, no bathroom, maybe a mirror. Smaller than a jail cell for sure.
And I need you guys to understand that Alex McCooey is 6'7".
Yeah.
And when you're on set, sometimes your scene gets pushed and you're there and you're waiting around for like a long time. And it was one of those days,
6-7 hours, could be 8 hours,
where he was supposed to be filming in the morning, but his scene got pushed to the end of the day. So he had just like time to kill. So it's like, you'll go, you'll read, you'll nap, whatever. So I'm like getting a coffee, and out comes Alex out of his tiny little jail cell, and he has to like fold his whole body in half to get out of the doorway. And he and he straightens up, and he looks so discombobulated and like cracks his back like he's just like coming out of a crypt, because his big body had to just condense into this space, and he's been in this tiny room for like 7 hours.
I'm picturing him sleeping in the shape of a U. Like his back is on the cot, and his arms are up along one side of the wall, and his legs are up against the other side of the wall. He's like a U-lock. Yeah. He's just like holding that.
I felt so. He was like, ugh.
They're small for me. Those little cot holding areas are really small for me.
Yeah.
And I'm 5'6". Like, I can barely fit. I don't know how he gets his costume on in there.
How? I don't know how. I don't think he could stand up fully in there. Like, it was so kind of uncool looking back. Yeah. I think they might have.
But what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, you can't. When you have no money, what are you going to do? But
going to set up like a loose tent just for the big animal.
And knowing him, he probably didn't say a peep, didn't complain. Of course,
he was stoked to be there.
Yeah, he's the best guy. He's such a. He
was always happy. He's such a good improviser. I feel like that's a big thing about him being on set. Is there's certain people who came on set. Everyone always assumes the show is so heavily improvised. It's not.
It's not.
But people like him do improvise. Like the why do birds suddenly appear every time? Like he definitely made that up.
100%.
That's not in the script for sure.
No, and because his character, like he interacted with other people, but a lot of the work that Jim Dickens does is kind of like his own ramblings, and so Jared really let him go off, and obviously picked the perfect person to play this role because he's so funny and so he makes me laugh so hard.
He's fun. In a couple of those scenes where it's like he's performing to us, because eventually he becomes basically the host of events going forward at some point, and we're all just sitting and watching him. It was such a treat. It was always such a delight to have him get up there and just do his thing. And he made everybody giggle. Like there were definitely a few times where it'd be like, okay, everyone needs to shut the fuck up. Like he's going to say something and it's going to be improvised and we're not going to get it again. So everyone's shut up.
Yeah. And he played because he was obviously a really big part of the show, but he would kind of come in for a season and be there for maybe 5 days. Mm-hmm. You know, he wasn't there for the full like month or 2 months. He kind of like popped in and popped out, but he was like such a great grounding presence on set. And I feel like that's really hard when you're not there all the time. but he's fun with everybody. He was like great to be around. He's super professional. He came very prepped, but he made everybody feel at ease. And that's like a tough thing to do as like more of a, I don't know, would we call him like a guest star role, like a series regular? I don't really know.
I would say, yeah, that's the kind of tricky thing about Letterkenny is because it's like an ensemble thing, it ends up feeling like if you're in more than 30 episodes, like how are you not a regular on the show?
Well,
like,
exactly.
I guess how's that not the word?
Yeah. I mean,
he's regularly there.
Yeah, he feels like a series regular.
For sure. And these are just technical terms that you guys don't give a shit about.
No.
But as an actor, you really pay attention to like those words because they actually mean things contractually a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So like to be like a series regular versus like an actor role, principal role, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's falling asleep.
Yeah, they're all gone. So let's move on to the fact that Wayne obviously isn't having a good time at this meeting. And he gets fucking upset.
Mm-hmm. He gets very upset.
Mad. But I do like his little thing with trying to wake up Dan. The whole, they're establishing how boring this meeting is. Also, I forgot his fucking hair. I don't think he takes his hat off in the episode, but he's got a crazy mullet, like mohawk mullet thing that I don't think he did for the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just him. That's Dan.
I think he just did that because he's a hick in real life. And then he showed up and everyone was like,
perfect. He's perfect.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So that wasn't just like the character is changed now. Like that's just Dan.
Dan told me once that he has 8 quads.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's how many 8 times 4? How many wheels is that? He also has I don't know if people know this, a keg tapped in his front hallway all times.
What?
Yeah, he has a draft. When he walks in the front door to his house, he has a draft that he pours.
That's a guy who's having fun.
He's having fun. Lives in a small town.
Yeah.
He's the mayor of the town, basasically, from what I understand.
He's got a lot of children.
Yep. A brood, if you will. Probably with like 7 different women. I don't know if any of that's true, but I think there's more than one woman. Don't quote me. He loves them, though. He loves his children. He loves his daughter. I think they're all daughters, too, which is perfect.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What a fun guy. Yeah, so it kind of like establishes that this isn't working, but they feel like they want to be there because a big part of the show is obviously community and like being a part of community and doing your due diligence, which is something Jared's he's serious about that.
Yeah, but he also likes, if you should be one thing, you should be efficient. So there's the rub. Sorry, that was a perfect Jared. There's the rub of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. And then we cut to, we're back with Katie and Stuart, and they're in the basement. And this is, this is like this whole, which again, I knew the EpiPen fight happened at some point. I just couldn't place when or why that happened. Yeah. But this whole...
It's Katie's fault.
It's Katie's fault. Yeah. She's like the Yoko Ono.
Yeah, you broke up the band.
I broke up the band. I know.
Yeah.
And she's weirdly like trying to connect with you and Devin in this way.
I know. It's the beginning of our rivalry for sure.
Totally. And again, not great character work on my part, but I'm like, oh, that's why we don't like each other.
Yeah.
Something I should have. That's the origin. Okay, got it. I just thought it was there and I just did it.
You just read, like you saw me acting like a dick to you and you're like, I guess we don't like each other?
I guess.
What's wrong with Rolled?
Boop, boop, boop. Anyways.
What's going on over here?
Yeah. Love your guys' performance is so good.
It's a really fun scene.
It's a really fun scene. And I remember Tyler, I think Jacob probably was like, try to like kiss her often, and Michelle, don't ever like look anywhere near him and just completely dodge him as if nothing's happening, because it'll be the most emasculating thing you can do. And Tyler was like, great.
Oh my God. His like gentle lips like pushing into the wind, like as you turn on. It's just so cute. It's so funny. And like you feel for Stuart, like you really do.
Yeah.
You feel for him.
And you guys are pissed. And the whole weekend conversation is so stupid, but I giggled a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the first time, but I think this might have been the first time I do this Stuart, I think.
Yes, but it's longer. It obviously, I was going to say evolves, but does it devolve?
It devolves, yeah.
Okay.
Fewer and fewer vowels show up.
Yeah, because you do say Stuart, but it's like, it's the full, and then it just devolves into
Yeah. Yeah, at this one, it was I was born this way, Stuart. Like, so it's like starts with the little Yeah, that's I think the first time I did it, and I think this is when Kiso came over and was like, you know that way you just you said Stuart, say it like that again. And then he just hit Stuart's name into the script 8 million times after that. So that was that was the beginning of that. And the EpiPen fight I wish came back because that was so funny.
I know. So weird.
The noise is so funny to me.
Yeah, and then again to like bring back a line that I liked. I don't know who said it, but it's like, if bees get in here, we are so fucked.
That was. I think that was Tyler says. I think that's Stuart who says that.
Yeah. It's a great. that whole saga is so fun.
Did you have any thoughts about like? Do you remember coming to the basement for the first time? Do you remember that?
I do.
That would have been your first day in the basement.
I remember shooting that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I wish I had more to say. I wish. You know what? I did watch the EpiPen like at the monitors. So that whole fight, yeah. So I did get to watch it, which is fun.
Do you remember that basement? Like, it's pretty gnarly basement. It was somebody's actual basement.
Really gnarly basement. And the stairs, the narrow stairs.
God, I forgot about the stairs. Think about this. On a set, there are 100 bodies moving around, like actively, like from start to finish, like from the, the trailers to the actual set. In the basement, the staircase is a single file staircase where you definitely will hit your head if you don't bend down. Mm-hmm. And in and out of the room to the basement was, if you don't bend down, you'll hit your head. And on more than one occasion, Vape Lord Pat did hit his head and blood trickled down. Like he did that a few times.
Blood trickled down.
Oh, for real. He ran when he was wearing the clown mask in the next season, or maybe this is this season. I don't even fucking remember. I think it's next season. Yeah. He was wearing the clown mask. He goes running out of the room and he hits it so hard, and everyone's like, oh! And he's like, it's fine, I'm fine. Lifts up the mask and a single trickle of blood down his forehead. God. And I was like, damn, that's that's commitment. And he's a wrestler, man. Rush Rancid, he's a wrestler. He does that, so he doesn't even care.
Yeah, he's hardcore.
And then, so anyways, having that many people in the basement, so if you crowd around the camera, you're like, not just, so the around the corner from the basement is another basement area that's like where people keep like storage. So it's just like an unfinished area, but there's the monitors and everyone's just crammed in there watching on the monitors. So it's not like it's not like couches. It's not like it's a real basement energy.
Yeah, it was ramshackle. But again, this is like when, we had locations in a different way. Yeah. And obviously that evolved where we had proper sets and stuff, but it was kind of cool. I'm sure it was like nice for you guys. I always felt this way. It was probably nice for you guys, just like it was nice for us to be at the farm, actually shooting on a farm, to kind of put you in character. Like that's such a luxury. Being on sets is great too, but there is something nice about really being in an environment.
Totally. I feel like being on set is the luxury. I feel like being on the actual on the place, it like in the zone, you're like, this is like, we're living it.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
It smells weird in this basement. It's damp. There's definitely black mold.
100% I lost a couple years of my life under there. I would say that a lot of people don't know how much of that basement already existed. Like there's little moments like pictures of Stuart on the wall, things like that the art department is amazing and they did put some incredible stuff back there. But a lot of what was down there was already down there. Like a lot of the paintings on the walls and those couches and a lot of the like, maybe some of those beakers weren't there. Like maybe some of the meth wasn't there, but maybe some of it was.
I mean, they drew inspiration from somewhere. Sudbury, shout out Sudbury. But there are some beautiful, beautiful places there, but there are also some rough edges in that town.
There's some real skids.
Yeah, there really are. Okay, so Stuart's he's kicked out. He's got to go because he's
out of the band.
He's chosen a girl. Roald is obviously like gung ho, but he's upset too. And then you have like a fake puke moment because you're so torn about being mean to Stuart. And this is where it's like, oh, he loves Stuart. This is also a bit of an establisher. Yeah, you love Stuart. Roald.
Roald loves Stuart.
And then like the hockey through line of this is they've had to level up in age or.
Yeah, they joined the senior boys hockey team. Yeah, they leveled up in age. They evolved into senior hockey team members, and everyone's out there doing fucking leg day. And I love the music. That's for me. Like as soon as they come in and they're all doing legs, like I was like, oh, this is where like Keys thought of Shoresy from. Like this energy of the energy's high, it's cool, it's fun. Like I was like, oh, I get it. And he wanted to make more of that. Like I understand that when I see that room.
Yeah. And I like this hardcore bro guys who are obsessed with their wives and like
Boomtown
can't eat gluten and are like so kind of like macho and yet soft in this way.
That's your other type. Other than musicians, it's macho, gluten-free wife lovers.
Ew. Wife lovers. It sounds like wife beater, wife lovers.
Wife lover. Yeah, okay, there's this guy. People refer to that shirt now as a wife pleaser sometimes. And I'm like, that's worse.
No,
that's worse. Just call it a tank top.
Call it a tank top. It's a tank top.
Wife pleaser?
Call
like,
it even an undershirt.
I have to think about you pleasing your wife now. Like, what are we talking about?
A wife pleaser.
And it's never by someone who's married. Like, no one who's married calls it a wife pleaser. It's always like some guy who's 23. It's like, this is my wife pleaser.
Oh God. Yeah. I haven't heard that one, thankfully.
Go back to King Street. Do your cocaine. Get out of here.
Do your cocaine.
Do your cocaine. Okay. And then all the hockey boys and their relationship, now that they are the schmelts, it's very funny. The Duck Duck Goose, they got a real ass cheeks in their face.
Oh yeah. Real clenched ass.
Yeah. I never had to do that. Well, you don't want to unclench it. You don't want to get whole in the face. You don't want it to be a loose ass. You got to clench it.
I can't believe you just said that.
That's stunt to clench it, to keep the hole from the nose.
To be like, okay, guys, like, here's your opener, so to speak. You have to full bum out and yeah, it's pretty.
And fart noises that they added in too, which is crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. All of those guys did a great job. And I feel like they come back a lot in this season, but I would have liked to see more of them. What can I say?
Yes. It's tricky because they established them as such a clear quintet where they're like, you say this, you say this, you say this, in exactly this cadence. So they kind of like, they can only speak like that. Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost like they trapped them in this cadence. And so it's hard to kind of bring them back after a while, because you'd just be like, how else do we write these guys? Like, do they become humans? Like, at what point do they stop becoming whatever this thing is, this hydra?
And the thing with Letterkenny is we always wanted everybody who came on the show to just continually come back. And then there's so many people, and you can't just keep everyone all the time. Sometimes things are just a flash in the pan and they're beautiful that way. And that's how they're supposed to live. And it's like, what a gift in this moment.
It's just like The Simpsons. It's like, Chief Wiggum is there sometimes. Like, it's like, but he's a part of the town.
All the time. But we know they're there. They're in Mr. Burns exists. Metaverse.
Yeah. Yes.
They're in the metaverse. Oh, you know what I did want to say as well?
What do you want to say?
I want to talk about Andrew's hair.
Okay. And how nice you think it is? Or, oh, you do like it. Okay, good. Okay, I can't ever tell with you. So you like Andrew's hair.
This is a PSA to Andrew Herr, who's definitely listening.
No, he's not.
That I would like him to bring that hairstyle. I want it wide and swooshy and tall.
Wide, swooshy, and tall. Kind of like rockabilly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's so rockabilly. Yeah. I was like, wow, this hair is tall and wide and
life
swishy.
Of its own. It's almost Conan, you know what I mean? Like, he's almost doing a Conan.
It's like trends come and go.
Yeah.
But I think enough time, maybe that was very 2015, like hockey thing. I think bring it back, because what I'm seeing when I, observe the youth is these young men are wearing a curly perm, right? And so there's a lot of like funny young guy hair, and I think that Andrew could participate. He also looks still like he's 21.
Andrew will forever be 21. Yeah. That's why he's still going to Paris, Texas.
Literally. So Andrew, especially if you want to continue at Paris, Texas, you're going to need to bring that hair back.
Honestly, I think Andrew doesn't think about his hair. I think Andrew's one of those like so naturally handsome, naturally tanned, naturally jacked guys that he just like he knows he's good looking, but he really doesn't do anything. Like, he just happens to be a good looking guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many other people out there who like do a lot of like, there's a lot of effort. There's a lot of preening. Like, Hersey almost does so much to injure his body and like dehydrate himself and stuff that he should look so much worse. Like, he should look terrible.
He should have crow's feet at least, but he doesn't.
Should absolutely have crow's feet. He should have bags under his eyes that go down to his fucking mouth.
I know. He should be starting to have jowls. But
for sure. Instead, he looks like a fucking Italian model. He looks like a fucking underwear model.
Yeah.
He's so tight. His jaw is like it's like he could cut glass.
I know. Well, Andrew, I think the hair, I just want you to consider it. I want you to go back to season 2, episode 1 of Letterkenny, and I need you to consider this hair.
Have a look.
Yeah, because it's really good hair.
I'm going to have to watch it again. I mean, you know that Dylan's going to be furious that you're going on about
Dylan's hair is like its own character. We don't have enough time to talk about Dylan's hair.
To talk about the blonde. Yeah,
he's a natural blonde.
Yeah, that's also
weird.
Let
that sink in.
Yeah.
An adult man, natural blonde. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I think that's all you need to say, really.
Yeah, let's move on.
Adult man, natural blonde. That's the name of that's his biography. That's what he's going to...
To end off this episode, we got Tyson showing up again for a rematch. And I think this is also where, again, these early days of Letterkenny, a lot of language is established. End of the laneway, don't come up the property. I think that's the first time it's said, and that's definitely something.
They say it in the second episode, and you're the one who says it. In Super Soft Birthday, you say, end of the laneway, don't come up the property. And then he says it to everyone else because you said it.
So I guess what
the only reason I'm being tight with this is because people are getting fucking mad at us in the comments about us saying stuff is the first. I like the other day when we said that. We said that Tannis's dad is only in that one episode. They're like, actually, I was like,
we're watching this for the first time, fresh eyes.
It feels like he's only in one until we see him again, and then we would have been surprised. Okay, now I know he's coming back.
Yeah, and that's
for one more episode.
Fun.
It's not as fun.
Guys,
let us be idiots.
Let us have fun.
God, let us have fun.
Okay, so I guess I, in fact, said that line not that long ago. That's This is where my brain is at right now.
Sorry for not letting you have fun, Michelle.
No, that's okay. I need to be like, put in place. Okay, well, never mind. So Tyson comes, and they do like another little fight because Wayne is kind of pissed. Why do they come back? He just wants a rematch?
So he comes back because in his description with the alphabet aerobics, he got back up and then knocked out Tyson after Tyson kicks him once. He's like, didn't know we were doing MMA. And then but then he knocks him out. And then so he's like, so I knocked you out, you knocked me out. Let's have like third. Let's have a proper third. And then he kind of suckers him. That's how I feel.
Right. Well, but in the coolest way. And this is where again,
headbutt sucker. Yeah.
Because Wayne does the pop up, which is kind of inherently a bit of a dorky move where it's like his body looks really like slack, It's very, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's a weird, it's like, again, cartoonish movement, like the kind of like bouncing up and landing in place.
Yeah. And then he walks over and then the slow-mo starts with a great song as always. And then kind of shockingly, I totally forgot this was happening, gives him just like a headbutt.
Yeah.
And it's real cool, tough guy. And it's also like, okay, so the last time we saw Wayne fight, he gets knocked out and he's like on his ass right away. And Jared's like, so I got to really kind of make a statement for the next episode. And he does. And it works.
He has to, at some point, we got to get Jared on here to defend himself. I feel like we're just ripping him. It's like, coolest guy in town has to show he's cool.
Well, he is cool though.
Sure.
But I actually think that it's what Wayne is doing because his friends are watching. Like that's
what Wayne's doing, not what Jared's doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. I thought you were like, season 1 ended, I look like a little bird.
No, it's like it makes sense for the character to reestablish like the balance. And then I think there is a kind of, I don't know, it's a bit teenage element of like, who's the toughest guy in the town thing and getting into fights all the time. But they're doing it in front of their male friends to like impress each other.
Oh yeah. They're way more in love with each other than they are the women in the town for sure. Of course.
But it's a great way to end. It's a great episode. I love this episode.
And the headbutt looked good. Like it looked so good.
It looked so good. It really, he sold it.
He sold the shit out of it. Only other thing that I wanted to mention about this episode before we move on is it was a windy day when you go talk to the boys, like on the porch, it looked very windy and you punch Derry in the, it's like, those are the outdoor elements that I forgot about. Like when we shoot the show, because it's outside, because it's Northern Ontario, there's like bugs and wind and it's cold and it's hot. Like there's so much there's so much nature in the show, and it's so nice to see the wind in their hair, even though it's terrible for sound. It's great to see, and it feels alive when it's on the farm. Yeah,
I forgot about the little Katie like beating up Derry. I mean, we kind of kept that a little bit.
Yes, throughout. A lot of people thought Derry and Katie were endgame. A lot of people thought that.
Hot take, I thought that's what was going to happen.
He's too much of a degenerate. Like he just never gets it together is how it feels.
But in early days, I thought that like they're kind of like her sort of hating him and you know, was going to maybe be like they would spend some time apart or something. And then like
he does get out of his barn clothes eventually for the other girls. So maybe that's like, yeah, you're right. It could have happened. But
then I think about my older brother and his friends, and they're just an extension of my older brother. So that it would just never, like, that's just
unless he was in love with you the whole time. Sorry, Katie. Unless he was in love with Katie the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. But even still, that's hard. Like when you've grown up with somebody.
Basically your sibling.
Yeah, it's basically your sibling. And then what I was going to say too is like with Littlekenny, it's established that they were little kids together.
True.
Which is the animated kind of like us as little kids.
I was so bummed that Littlekenny didn't continue because I would have loved to do the Skids voices. It would have been so fun to do Little Rolled.
So fun.
If you can imagine how high pitched adult rolled says Stuart. Just imagine how high-pitched Littlekenny rolled would have said it. It would have been crazy.
It would have been crazy.
You wouldn't have been able to hear it. It would have been like a dog whistle. Like dogs go crazy in the yard. Like Stormy fucking freaks out.
That would have been a funny choice, is your voice is so high that you're silent.
Just completely silent. Oh, like they wouldn't even need me then. I wouldn't even be there.
No. You say a couple things, but then when you say Stuart, it's like it's so high that it's silent. And all the dogs go, Aru?
And Caesars. This is the first time it says can't see a Caesar without wanting a Caesar, and it made me want a Caesar.
I know. God, that is so true. For our American, do Americans have Caesars now? Is it kind of
they
like
have Bloody Marys?
I know,
still.
but they know about them now. I think there was a time when they're like, "Ew, what?"
Yeah, and you can get clam juice, but I have a bar in my area that's like it's a New York owner, and he won't serve Caesars. He serves Bloody Marys because he's like, it's fucking weird. And I'm like, he's so sophisticated in every other way, but Americans cannot wrap their head around clam juice.
What is there not to understand?
What do you not fucking get?
It's the juice of a clam.
Of clams. Get it together. It's delicious. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, they're weird.
They're weird.
They're fucking weird.
Of course they're fucking weird, man.
We got
Drink a Caesar.
Tomato juice, clam juice, a pickle.
A pickle.
Hot sauce, Worcestershire. What else is there that you need to know?
Yo, I have such a vivid memory of Jacob fucking screaming at you to pronounce Worcester. But he was like, you were like, Worcester.
No, they wanted me to say... It'll
Worcestershire?
No, that's like the phonetic. Yeah, it's
Worcester. Yeah, you could not. It was like, this is the most takes I've ever seen you do. I've never seen you.
I was crumbling.
You're near tears.
I was crumbling. Because it was also like, when your brain decides, nope, you can't say that word. Sorry. Sorry. And then I was on set doing it, and then he kept saying it the right way. And then in a panic, my brain flipped it to the wrong way every single time. And there were extras there, and everyone, I felt...
This was the Caesar episode. This was where there was 100 people in the room, like where everyone's watching you. Like you're on stage. It's not even just like Letterkenny. It's like so many people in the room. Oh my God. I thought it was very funny. Sorry, this traumatic memory is not good for you, but for me it was very good.
You know what? It was humbling. And sometimes our brains are just not our friends, and that's okay.
Can you imagine that, like, being an extra, you like show up and you're like, oh my God, that's Katie from Letterkenny. Like, she's so cool. Like, look, I've only ever seen her on the show. She's so confident. And you get up in there and you're like, Worcestershire.
And then my face goes tomato red, and then I start giggling, and then I have to take a big gulp of water and then do it again, and then the same thing happens again and again.
30 minutes later, they're like, maybe we should just move on. Like, maybe Katie doesn't make the Caesar.
Maybe she's not in this scene. Actually,
sorry, this does not happen in this episode. Even our bad.
No, but you know what? Hey, it's fun to jump around.
It is. We gave them a lot of episode. Oh my God. I just realized we've been talking for like an hour and 15 minutes about Letterkenny.
I know. But I love this episode. I don't know. They say like the second episode of any series is always really hard to pull off. But I feel like the second season opener too, like you have to have a strong open.
Sophomore album. Yeah.
It's a sophomore album. And so I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to like it as much, or there was going to be like less nostalgia. And so I wouldn't care about it in the same way or something. But it was the opposite. I really loved it.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Keith approaches his writing like it's music in some way, just because he is such a music guy. And even just at the end of the show, they sent us all these like records, like it was like a platinum record that was like, we appreciate you, like Letterkenny. It's like the Letterkenny talk. I was like, wait, was this music? Like,
are we a band?
Are we a band? No, because it always felt like we were a band. Like we toured like on a tour bus. Like not a lot of shows do that. So there was this kind of like music element to like our show. And even
I do a whole
show itself
rap.
is lyrical.
I do a whole rap.
Totally.
Yeah, it's very, very musical. Yeah, it is.
You'll see that theme a lot throughout the show, is that feeling of it being like, oh, we're a band.
I know.
We party all night. Like no one has to like, we're not actors. The ego is totally different.
Well, and that is actually a good point, because the way that we partied, actors don't do that because they're afraid of aging and looking like shit and being a mess. Like that's it's less common. It's more common in bands, but we really took on the energy of a band, some more than others. You and I were definitely on the tamer side of things, but
hey, every band needs like a manager. Every band needs an E.
Totally.
We're there keeping things together.
And I feel like I was usually sober, but then when I would participate,
you went pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I wasn't usually sober, but I was soberer.
You were soberer.
I was soberer. Like I would drink and stuff, but I was never at the point where I was like, where's home? I was like, I know how to get us home. I'm pretty sure I can get us home.
Yeah, me too, really. The only time that I really was on the tour, I was so tame for the whole tour because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac and I was worried about getting sick.
You were worried, yeah.
But then one night, I remember I think the night that we took that video, I just was like, I'm just...
Was this Chicago?
Yeah, I think so. And then we did all the shots. Well, that was a tough night. Yeah,
well, because there was a fucking shooting outside of our show.
Yeah, and a crew member. So this is tough. So in Chicago, we were doing our sound check and we were on stage, and I remember looking at you because we heard something, but I didn't know what it was. And then we were answering questions. Oh yeah.
There was a Q&A portion before Letterkenny and Michelle and I are on stage.
And we're answering questions, and we all of a sudden see the security run, and you looked at me and I was like, what was that? And I feel like you said, I think that was a gunshot. And then all of a sudden...
I knew it was. I think I heard a bunch of gunshots. It wasn't even just one. It's like 6 or 7.
And then our tour manager, he rushes us off stage, and then we have to go into the basement. And I guess there was just wrong place, wrong time. It wasn't for the person who ended up getting shot, but a crew member from that theater who was working on our set. He wasn't one of our touring crew members, but he was there working the show. He got shot 3 times.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I was under the impression he got hit in the ear just a little bit, and there was blood on the tour bus.
No, but he got shot.
He did?
Yes.
I thought it was he got grazed one time in the ear. Oh my God. I didn't know
so
this.
So I don't know if it was just he got grazed in the ear, but he was
Maybe
okay.
That's what they told us to tell us.
And then there was blood on the tour bus, and Kara had to go outside and wash blood off the tour bus. And they called the police, and the police were like, yeah, this happens all the time. Have a great show. And we're should we cancel the show? And they were like, we'd really rather you guys not cancel a show downtown Chicago. And then we have 6,000 pissed people to potentially deal with. And then we had to go right back on stage an hour later, and we were, Canadian. So for us, this is
I've never been near anything quite like that.
Never,
the energy. I was like, this is really scary and very odd. And everyone was handling it so differently.
Yeah.
In the basement, waiting. I was definitely this is, I wanted more information for sure.
I felt really sad. And then I remember we went on stage, and it was the first hit scene, and there was a couple guys, I guess, a bit further back in the auditorium, and they'd been drinking, and they got into a fight, and they yelled really loud, and we all jumped. We thought that there was another bang or something.
Shit, really?
And we were so on edge.
It was up.
It was very weird to experience that, and could have been a lot worse. Somebody was hurt though, and that's devastating.
Right. I guess I always understood that he wasn't injured. I would love to. I want to know more about this now, because I'm we gotta get all the. It just feels like broken telephone whenever this happens.
I know, and maybe
of
I'm overdoing it. I thought that he was hit more than once, and the ear was one of them. But he ended up being totally okay. But he obviously had to go to the hospital.
That is what I heard, that he was totally okay at the end of the day. But even then, it's like this guy was a total bystander, and apparently it was someone chasing someone else down an alley, which is terrifying to begin with, who's just randomly shooting. And then we went outside at the end, and I remember, because like there's always people waiting outside to like, you sign some Funko Pops, you sign some headshots, like whatever people have, like that they have, and they're like near the tour bus, like we're more than happy to like sign stuff. And I remember when we got outside to sign stuff, like the production was like really rushing us. They were like, no, you can't, like, you have to keep going. Like, I remember there was this energy of like, we just got to get out of here right now. Mm-hmm. And then we get back to our hotel and we're like, well, we can't sit in the hotel all night. We have to drink.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like, we're going to a club and we're going to get bottles and we're gonna dance in like a thick crowd of people and feel what it's like to be alive. Like it was like one of those crazy, and they were like, it was one of the hardest party nights, I'd say, of the tour. Yeah. For you, for sure.
Yeah. And then we have a video of Tyler, Andrew, Dylan, and I went back to their room and we ordered tacos and we were like dancing and like listening to music. And then Andrew and Dylan both fell asleep, and Tyler and I were like, what the hell? So we obviously just took videos of them, and I'll post it.
That's so good. That's so funny. I remember Chicago so well just because of like, it was just a wild place. And like I remember the robes are so comfortable, and then we got sent the robes as a gift by Kiso. And I wear that thing every day.
It's an incredible robe.
It's so comfy. I wear it all the time. Anyway, that's a wild story, and we got to find out more about it. But at the end of the day, I do feel like it's weird to say, but it felt like we had an obligation to perform that night, because it was like we weren't doing anyone any favors not performing. And part of being a performer is you just have to kind of like take whatever's going on with you and compartmentalize it, and then give people what they need, because like that's our role in society, is to like have people forget about things that are scary and terrifying. Like that's kind of what we do. We make people like smile and laugh and think about something else and have a nice time and escape. And that was like a really intense moment of like, oh, this is a really practical one-to-one, and it's tough for us maybe, but like at the end of the day, 6,000 other people had no idea that it happened and had a great show probably and enjoyed the heck out of themselves. Yeah,
very good point. And I think there's just like the juxtaposition, and there was an element of being like, to go and do like a comedy show directly after that. But I also understand the logic of being like, look, you guys not doing the show now or something isn't going to make anything better for anybody. So you just go and you do it, right?
God, I remember one of the things someone said, I don't know who specifically said this. I don't know if it was Josh or something. I don't know. But someone was like, we're in Chicago, okay? Like this happens so often in Chicago.
I know.
Like this is like, they came here to not think about this.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So
exactly that.
Get out there, have a good show.
Yeah, and
that's
we did.
all we can do.
And we love Chicago. We had a great time in Chicago. That was I would go back for sure. It's a tough moment. Obviously, that was like we were all so shook, but we also loved that city. And I had a great time there too. So
I want to go back. I do have a lot of like I have a lot of love for the architecture of Chicago specifically. I'd love to go back and do like an architecture tour. I think that'd be really, really cool. And the food and the music. There's a lot to offer there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, final thoughts on season 2, episode 1, Evan. Just you like it? I like it.
I like it. Yeah. No, I really liked it. And I like that it did not let up for a second. It really just established a whole second season right off the bat. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the second season now. I'm excited.
I know, me too.
I'm excited to watch the show we made. Like it keeps getting better.
I love it. Shall we get into Spare Hearts?
I would love to get into Spare Hearts.
Okay, let's do it.
Quick disclaimer here. This is Evan from the future. In today's episode of Spare Hearts, we take a question about love from an LA firefighter. And we hadn't read the submission in advance, so hearing that caught us off guard, to say the least. We have checked with our firefighter friend since then, and he's doing well and is safe. We apologize in advance if any of our reaction is insensitive. We assure you we're really concerned about what's going on in LA and globally when it comes to the Earth's changing climate. So thanks for listening and enjoy Spare Hearts. Oh, and BFI stands for Big Fucking Indian. It's a quote from our own show. Oh God. Okay. So now enjoy Spare Hearts.
Okay, cool. Howdy, Michelle and Evan. Your guys' characters, along with Jared, raised me. I was a little angsty foster teen living with strangers, and seeing Wayne and Katie living a decent life without their parents gave me hope. And here I am today living a decent life.
Aww.
I know. I'm like,
what?
I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Anyways, I am recently single, BFI, and I have had a terrible time in the dating scene. What's BFI?
Feels like big fucking deal. Like, yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking that. BFI.
I'm not sure what that is. Anyways, I'm a recently single
what does BFI stand? Oh,
Look
here it is.
up. Big friendly.
None of these. I mean, do you think it's the British Film Institute or the Banking for Impact? Black frame insertion? Basketball Federation of India?
I don't know what that is.
BFI.
Big
Bilateral Finance Institution.
Big friendly introvert.
Oh, is that what that means?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Honestly, that's the best guess I could see. Are you sure it doesn't say something else?
No, it says BFI.
Capital letters or little letters?
Capital letters. Anyways, I am a recently single BFI. And I have had a terrible time in the dating scene.
Bi, female, something, maybe?
Oh.
BFI? Sex meaning? Hold on. I was thinking it's like a...
Right.
Butt fucking incorporated.
Okay.
What's that mean? So stupid.
Are we so stupid? Are we being offensive?
We have to be being offensive but you can't be offensive if you have no idea what something is.
Honestly, to this lovely person, I don't know what this means. We don't know what this means.
Female, intersex maybe or something. This is where I'm like,
oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that. Maybe. I just genuinely don't know. I'm old. We're old.
Intersex. Honestly, you know what? Let's just. And the thing is, I'm not looking at the question, so I feel like this is all your fault. Hope that's okay with you.
Great.
Okay.
And I've had a terrible time in the dating scene. I recently had a date with this pretty lady. Everything went well. We were talking the whole time. I hardly got to eat my food. And then our mutual friend said that I wasn't talking and had hella awkward silence, ? I mean, in my opinion, she just didn't like me, which I get. But at least let me know. But do you guys have any tips for a 26-year-old firefighter living in LA who has...
Why are you laughing? Oh my God. Did you not vet this question? First of all, I hope you're okay. This is great. This laughter. This like burst of laughter after reading that this person's a firefighter in LA. You just die laughing. This is crazy.
I did not vet this question.
I didn't even read.
I just didn't read it.
The most horrible fires are ever having in Los Angeles. Oh, Jesus Christ. We might have to just do a different question. This is crazy. I mean, like, all we did was sit here and like shit on this person's acronym and
potential identity.
Are they still alive? Like, are they even gonna? This is crazy, man.
Okay, let me just take it back.
I don't know if I can honestly react to this question anymore.
I know. Okay.
It's just too wild.
It's too like, there's so much emotion.
There's so much going on there. Okay, we really want to share with you guys this experience, but we sound like fucking assholes.
But we don't mean to.
We don't mean to at all. Obviously, this is humans being awkward. This is a great example of how human emotions, when you're trying to showcase, Michelle is showing me her soaking wet shirt. She's sweating through her shirt right now, literally, because of how terrified she is to talk about this. But humans, it's true. Something to note, when we're uncomfortable or we're like trying to empathize, sometimes we can laugh and sometimes we can cry and sometimes we can do both. And I'd love to answer your question. Let's try answering the question. Let's hear it again.
Let's hear it again. I'm so sorry.
Sound like a great person.
Yeah, of course.
First of all, shout out firefighters.
I don't know if we can do this, Ev.
Okay. Okay, it's too tough. Too tough. That's fair.
I just don't know.
Yeah, it's way harder answering a question rather than being a firefighter in LA, Michelle. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, I think, no, let's circle back to it. Let's go back to it. Holy moly.
That was wild. That was super funny.
We truly need more questions.
Yeah, we do need more questions. We have to let people know.
Okay, I'm literally going to start over. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. A different one?
No, the same one.
The same one? Okay, I'll try. All right, I'll try.
Because we didn't even get to the, okay.
We didn't even get to the BFI part. We're going to get to BFI again. It's still going to fucking, what is it? Is BFI firefighter? BFI might be Bureau of Firefighting. That might be it. It might be Bureau of Fire Investigation.
Wow.
It might be.
Very cool. I like also referring to yourself as I'm a single BFI. That's what that is. That's cool.
Maybe that's not what it is though.
But if it is, I think that's fun. Okay. Anyways, I'm recently single BFI and I've had a terrible time in the dating scene.
I still think it means big fucking something. Like big fucking deal. Like I think it's him being, no? Do you think it's big fat introvert? I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't mean big fat as like I mean like, oh, for God's sake.
Are we okay?
Big fucking introvert.
I don't know what it is.
I think he's saying BFI is introversion.
Okay, maybe we're gonna both like wake up at 3 a.m. and be like, and just know what it is.
BFI.
Okay, so I've had a terrible time in the dating scene. And I recently had a date with this pretty lady. Everything went well. We were talking the whole time. I hardly got to eat my food. And then our mutual friend said that I wasn't talking and had hella awkward silence, ? I mean, in my opinion, she didn't really like me, which I get, but at least let me know. But do you guys have any tips for a 26-year-old firefighter living in LA who has no social media accounts? I don't know if it's just the demographic here in LA, but man, is dating rough. Thanks, you guys. Keep up the pod. I love it. Please don't let it die like the Always Sunny podcast because, man, did those guys fumble the bag. See you next episode.
Ooh, just a quick dig on the Always Sunny podcast. But also, shout out to you for being a firefighter in LA. That's crazy right now.
Oh, my gosh. I hope you're okay. Thank you for your service. And to everyone obviously affected. Yeah, it's really, really devastating.
I wonder if I feel like firefighters are sexy cool. I don't know. I feel like of all the civil servants, like people generally are like, there's firefighter calendars and there's like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel I feel like it's a pretty hot profession. And LA's filled with hot people. Obviously there's actors, but actors are gross people on the inside a lot. I feel like firefighters are like selfless and they're hardworking.
Absolutely.
Like just carry around that helmet.
And strong and fit.
Strong. Yeah.
Like care about community, are obviously like sacrificing the body, very Letterkenny terms. But yeah, it's, there's kind of nothing cooler than being a firefighter. Yeah,
I feel like if you just walk into any cool cocktail bar holding your helmet under your arm, like I just got off work and like put the gloves and the helmet on the counter on the bar, somebody will like buy you a drink. Like I feel like maybe I'm just
no, I agree.
You need to flex that. Let people know. And
maybe if BFI means, what is it?
Big firefighter initiative.
Fire.
I thought it was a Bureau of Fire Investigation.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like a fire detective. Whoa.
That would be cool.
That's fucking crazy because then you're putting on the sunglasses and you're like figuring out who caused fires. Like you're like looking for arsonists and stuff. That's crazy. Yeah.
And you're only 26 years old.
That's young. Wow. You got a real job with like pension and shit.
Yeah.
That's legit. You're a catch, buddy.
Absolutely. Yes, you're a catch. And also you're going to go on dates with people that you don't connect with or vibe with. I think LA, and we're seeing kind of the opposite right now where everyone's really coming together and helping each other, but it has this bad reputation of being like surface and fake and like people are just kind of out for themselves.
To crack the surface of people in LA. That's pretty common. Like it's hard to make friends out there because you're like, who's really my friend? Like, what are you trying to get out of me? Like it's a whole city built on entertainment, which is like a pretty tough industry. Like,
but there's also like, it's a fully functioning city with a lot of other people with many other types of jobs.
So I just don't know a single one. It's so interesting. When I'm out there, I know 1,000 actors and not a single firefighter,
which is really unfortunate.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to break those.
We need to be your friend. So I would say maybe avoid people that work in entertainment. And I know that's probably hard, but if you're like online dating and stuff, like, you know, like somebody, like a teacher or a nurse, whatever, like a job that is maybe more in alignment with your values, so that at least like off the hop, you have something to connect with. Cause working in entertainment, it's not that like we're pretty nice, but there's not that many people that are.
I will say that it does sound like your experience with this person that you went on a date with. I don't know. Your friend was there with you, I guess. And it sounds like your friend was suggesting that you weren't talking, but you were under the impression that you could barely eat your food. You guys were in such conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like your friend's kind of leading you astray here.
That's actually, that's a good point.
Something odd happening there. I don't know why. I don't know if the friend was like a buffer or what, but I wouldn't first of all, I know sometimes you're supposed to ask your friends, like, you know, how did that go? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you can't like overanalyze a date. Like you just have to let the vibe of the date happen. And like sometimes a date will like not be the most amazing date in the world, but then maybe the next date would be. Like there's a lot of nervous energy in a first date. You have to forgive a bit in that, I think.
Oh yeah. And don't be too critical on yourself, because it's understood that everybody's nervous and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you feel like you were talking a lot, you probably were like talking a perfect amount. You know what I mean?
My real question is, did you smell her hair and did she smell your neck? Because if you didn't do that, you
don't know yet. You don't know yet.
You gotta smell each other.
There's no way of knowing.
You gotta bury your nose in there.
Suggest doing that right off the hop next time.
Yeah. Yeah. If she's like, sorry, I shake hands first, be like, actually, we have to find out.
We have to nuzzle.
For pheromones. Yeah, nuzzle. Not even just not even a little, just I want you to get in there and really kind of bury. Look for those nuts. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, look, you're 26, you're a firefighter. I'm going to assume that you've had a tough week. So maybe, you know, give yourself a little grace in this time.
Oh, yeah. One thing I would recommend is if you're having trouble on first dates in general, always default to asking more questions and listening more. Like really listen to the answers and be interested. And when you can, be like goofy or funny. Like offer the true part of yourself that makes you smile and laugh. Ask questions, be interested. Like you're not there to teach anyone anything. You're not there to teach a fucking TED talk. Nobody wants to date you because you're smart. Nobody wants to date you because you have facts. Just be a good listener.
Yeah, that's exactly. Asking questions. I also find asking questions puts me at ease, because then I feel like I can just
answer the question.
Well, no, ask the question and listen. Okay. And then it eases my mind a little bit too. And then ideally the person that you're on a date with does the same. And then like everybody's kind of participating in a way. Yeah,
you don't want to end up in an interview in like an interrogation, but that's where the listening and answering comes in. They have to like actually be interested.
Yeah. And also I would say going on a first date with your other friend there is also a weird pressure, because you're getting observed by somebody who knows you. So you
and it's like, you're talking weird. It's like, of course I am. I'm on a first fucking date.
Yeah, I'm a whole new person in this moment.
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
I'm covered in pheromones right now, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Don't bring a friend along.
Unless what BFI means that you do threesomes. I don't know what BFI stands for, but maybe that's
BFI. I'm not going to say it. Anyways, thank you so much for the question. Also, I just want to touch on what you said at the beginning of the question about you growing up in like foster homes. And now you're like this amazing young man who has this incredible job. And you've obviously, like you said, you've made a beautiful life for yourself. And I just feel really so like proud of you, even though I don't know you. Too, buddy. Because the foster system is can be a tough place to come from. And so the fact that you've like made your life beautiful and you connected with Wayne and Katie, I think is really cool. So thank you for sharing that. That was really nice.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. And now we're going to do another question entirely separate that has nothing to do with firefighting in LA or an acronym that maybe means, that's a bi lady. I don't even know. Did that person ever, what's their name? That would have helped.
Well, I wouldn't.
So it's a man.
Would it have helped?
Kind of. I would have known it was a guy. I was like, BFI sounds like don't fucking know. I don't know. All right. You're right.
Oh my God.
Hilarious. That's such a funny question because it's like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm all in itself. That one little answer.
That
like,
was
it's like 6
crazy.
things happen. I'm like, oh my God. It's a foster kid from LA fighting fires who has an acronym we don't understand, who's having an awkward date, and all we can say is don't take people in entertainment. That's all we have? That's it? It's crazy. Oh man.
Oh, I feel like
poor guy.
We really fucked that up.
Yeah, we fucked that up hard. I feel like the bad guys. I feel like we're insensitive. We're fucking rude. We don't understand anything. We're stupid. In this episode, we talk about a shooting. We talk about like public shooting and like fires. It's like, what the hell? What are we going to cover next? Epstein's Island was pretty crazy, huh? It's like, fucking God, man.
I mean, literally, should we like leave it there?
I don't know. We don't do another question. We're not suited to answer questions tonight.
I don't think I'm emotionally fit. I feel like, okay, what happened with that question was, it was
didn't
like,
read it.
It was like, yeah, I didn't vet it, which is a crazy move. And I just thought I could and it'd be fine. Yeah. But it was like,
maybe I'll do the questions next week.
I think maybe you need to take a turn.
Maybe I do the questions next week.
You need to take a turn.
Yeah, I'll do the questions next week.
Guys,
I'll find them.
I don't know. This is a very unhinged episode.
Oh, brother. I liked it.
I liked it too. I hope it's okay. I hope that we didn't just get ourselves canceled.
You know what? It like, if anything, it's like we, I feel like you can't cancel something that we're not getting paid to do.
Yeah.
We're not part of a network yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is allowed to be fast and loose.
Can't cancel the show yet.
Yeah.
Still here.
We'll tighten it up. But thank you guys so much for this intro episode to what the rest of this podcast is going to be.
Yeah,
new season. This is really setting the tone, I would think.
New season energy. That's exactly what the new season of Letterkenny, the second season of Letterkenny did. They set the tone. This is what we're doing. We're setting the tone.
I don't know, Ev. I mean, I think there's a potential that most of that will be bleeped out or it'll all be left in. But either way, it was so fun. And I love you. And guys, write in for some spare heart stuff because we need some more questions. We want to hear from you. Evan's going to pick next week, which is fun. So yeah, write in. I'll give you a hint. If you send in questions that are really unique about something that's like not about love, I will pick your question probably next week. Like if it's like work related or advice about siblings or advice about sports or trying a new hobby or something. Do you have a rival? I'd love a question about a rival. And it can be dating. You can have rivals in the dating world too. Totally. But like, I want something petty. Yeah, I want something petty. Let's have some fun. Yeah. And don't forget to go rate the podcast on Apple and on Spotify. Do both. Have some fun with it. Yeah, we love that. We love you guys. We're really happy to be here for season 2. Evan, I don't know what that was, but I'm happy it happened. And I'm happy it was with you. That's beautiful. Thank you. Bye. Bye.